Hi guys, welcome to episode 14 of our Mortal Realms review series. Reviewing issue 14 in a mood that surprises precisely no. Let's get in. Okay, first things first, let's look at the plastic crack.
This is my present. I know.
That's your present as well. We've got the Dreadblade Haros, which are...
Pretty horses. They're dead.
yeah, they're going to go to increase Julia's undead army. So what do you think, Julia?
I think they are very cool. They are very pretty.
Yeah. They've got a... Looks like we're getting 2 of these guys, and they've got a base each. They come with the really nice bases, as does a lot of the stuff we've had, which has presented a minor issue, which I found, which is you've got a lot of stuff with nice bases and then a lot of stuff with plain bases, so you kind of got to get the bases looking similar. I think
no, I'm not playing.
Something you can work with over time, but yeah, you've got a lot of detail on these bases, a lot of detail on these guys. Obviously, the same problem you have with a lot of the skeletal undead, in that they're very slightly built.
She's broken the ball.
Of course she's broken the ball, she's a dog.
Yeah, I know, but I wanted to last for so long.
Let's have a look. These are 2018 copyright, so these are very new. So these are much newer than all the other stuff, and they look fairly awesome. Some of the pointy bits have slightly damaged the cover, but doesn't really matter. I don't think we're buying it for the cover. So let's dive right in. Page 2 is Nighthaunt Dreadblade Haros. Do you want to read the blurb there?
Dreadblade Haros act as officers in the ranks of the Nighthaunt. They serve as bodyguards for higher ranking ghosts or as lieutenants to shepherd the lesser spirits who make up the bulk of each ghostly Nighthaunt procession. I didn't guess any of the words.
That's a first.
Yes, it is.
It's got a small bit here that tells you what Dreadblade Haros do and where they come from. In life, each Dreadblade Harrow watched its leader's betrayal, neither helping nor hindering. Their failure to stop this betrayal has been rewarded with a curse in death. They are now forced to serve their treacherous leaders for eternity. So that's pretty cool. And you've got the nice little explorer bit there that they always do.
Almost smacking me in the face, and like my body can't decide, like, are you going to flinch or just going to sit still? So.
I've had a lot of caffeine today. My Tourette's is really ramped up. Oh, they've got 2 names. They've both got names, although frankly they're very similar models. You've got Malakir Quail. He once marched alongside Edric Harsk, a general of great renown, serving as a lieutenant in a dozen battles. And then you've got Kryptos Sharn. Kryptos Sharn was once a chivalrous knight with nobility and honour in his veins. The kingdom he served was invaded by the legions of Nagash under the command of a powerful soul like Vampire Lord. And he goes on to describe him. It then describes the Knight of Shrouds. The Knight of Shrouds are former generals and war leaders who betrayed their own. So the Knight of Shrouds are slightly bigger there. And throw in their lot with Nagash. Rather than be slain by the endless armies of the dead, they still feel great guilt at their betrayal of their own kin, and they seek the distraction of battle in order to forget their treacherous past. So that's
Depressing.
Depressing, yeah. Depressing is one word. Next, we're marching into the forces of chaos. Sorry guys, very twitchy tonight. The sky turns blood red and gloomy black. Make your minds up. Foul winds bring the stench of corruption. Savage war cries fill the air as the dread countless armoured feet cause the ground to shake. The armies of chaos have arrived in force, and they want nothing else than to complete their conquest of reality itself. Felt like that could have stopped a sentence earlier and been cooler.
Yeah.
We've got a nice description of Archeon here, who's the supreme champion of Chaos Undivided. Each Chaos Power has their own Uber champion, but Archeon's the one that's the Uber champion of all four. So he's the one that brings them together. Archeon, the Everchosen, is the leader of the Chaos Forces, blessed by the Chaos Gods. He rides his three-headed demonic mount, Dorgar. It then explains about the Chaos Legions. With a bit more explanation there, and then gives a bit of a brief on mortals and demons. Obviously, the mortals, are the empowered but still just human beings fundamentally, although be heavily mutated and massively roided up. They work for Chaos, and these guys will either die in battle, die from mutation, or if they're very lucky, ascend to be a chaos, to be a demon prince. And then they've got the demons, which is the ranks, they're beings of pure chaos, and either they're mortals who've managed to make their way into warpdom, or they're creatures born of the warp. They're most often found at the far edges of each realm, where they feed upon their chaotic energies that tear upon the fabric of the mortal realms. Occasionally they'll be bound to serve a mortal or be united under control of a demonic general. And they're basically the direct forces of chaos and the main badasses. Next, we've got more on the Stormcast Eternals. This is called 1,000 Storms, Tempest Breaks. This is another historical thing by the looks of it. We've got the Tempest Breaks, Vengeance Long Awaited, Azirheim Hosts, telling about events throughout the Storm Hosts thing. There we go. For example, the Tempest Breaks. Powers of Chaos, after 5 long centuries of dominance, have claimed the vast majority of the mortal realms. And then he goes on to describe the Battle of Sigmar. During the Red Century, during the Red Century, 4 almighty monarchs were raised by the once great city of Thaldon. And each one depicts an important part of the history of the Sigmarites. In later bits, it moves on to some of the death parts in Death and the recovery of Galmaraz and bits like that. Next, we've got the Curse of the Hunter. Which is a nice short story about the Dreadblade Haros, giving you some inspiration as to how you might want to use them and what they do. I always think the inspiration stuff is really, really important. And we've got another named Dreadblade Haro here called Kalmar the Accursed, who's clearly the same model as one of the other Dreadblade Haros. That's all cool. And Kalmar Vargoth's code of honour was his undoing. Raised in the service of Grey Knight, he obeyed his commander's orders without question. Always a mistake, bringing great glory to his family. Thus it was that when his commander gave in to despair and became a Knight of Shrouds, Kalmar did nothing to stop his superior's treachery. His lack of action saw him transformed into a creature racked by guilt and regret. Forced to serve a lord he now hates, even unleashing his frustration and fury upon the living provides him no satisfaction. So, there's a picture of him and he's cool.
The dog.
Indeed you do, my pretty. Next we've got the how to build Dreadblade Haros. We've got the clipper safety. Baby, Emma, Juliet, even. Let go. Yes, but she's banging against the table. Well worth following this one, because although they are easy to build, a lot of the parts do look similar. Check the guide and dry fit your guys and you should have no problem. It's a simple one-page guide there, and they should go together fairly easily. Next, it's got how to paint the Dreadblade Haros. which is a basic white and then a wash with other colours. And then we're going to, then they use things like Cantor blue and other stuff to make them look cooler, which you can do, or a lot of people I've seen are just using the wash and the dry brush to give them a kind of Lord of the Rings, Army of the Dead look. Next we've got Ghost Riders. I keep saying this every week, but now we've got a hand on Julie's school stuff over the lockdown. Hopefully we'll get some more battle videos out. But in this one you're using the Ghost Riders and the large map. We've got the reference sheet for the Dreadblade Haros, and the Castigals and the Griffhound. And so we've got a hero phase, movement phase, shooting phase, charge phase, combat phase. So we've got all that. So we're going to be using the charging phase in here, so that's all cool. And then the phases as we normally expect them. You smell?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
That would be you.
You probably would be. Next week, we're looking at the next one, which I'm not sure if they're maintaining this 2 weeks thing or not, but either next week or the week after that, we'll be getting issue 15, which has the rest of the Sigmund Mausoleum, which I'm sure I'm always looking forward to build. And then issue 16 is Stormcast Reinforcements, which is really good because, as some of you may have noticed, the numbers of Stormcasts we have don't match up with the numbers of Stormcasts in the Stormcast Eternal book, so you wouldn't be able to use all of them. You'd only be able to if you wanted to do a separate battle, or if you'd bought the book already, you'd only be able to use like a fraction of the numbers you've got. With the extra castigators, secretors, and with the extra castigators and secretors, that should build their numbers, bring their numbers up to and in line with the main rulebook if you're looking to play with the main rulebook. So that's cool, and that'll be in either 2 or 4 or 5 weeks' time, depending on how everything goes. Obviously, everything being on there, we don't really know. You looking forward to building those?
Yes.
Okay. This one was a bit quick because I'm twitchy as fuck and Julia's not feeling that great either. So it's goodbye from me, and it's
Goodbye from me too.
see you guys next time. Bye.